In this basic foundation series, we're going to teach you how to start integrating some of the movements you just learned. We're going to use these exercises to build layers of endurance and strength into the proper movement patterns, continuously reinforcing all of these foundation exercises. To start, I want you to get into a very wide leg founder, as wide as your legs can go comfortably. You're going to have a slight bend in the knees. Your weight is going to be back behind you on the heels. The chest is high, the lower back is braced. You're pushing the arms straight back behind you, and we're looking for as much length as possible from the center of the sternum out to the shoulders, big wide chest. With the knees bent and the weight on the heels, I want you to slowly bring the arms forward. As the arms go forward, you're going to pull your hips back just a little bit. Chest stays high, weight's on the heels, the lower back is as tight as possible. Start slowly bringing those arms up about 6 or 8 more inches. Let's hold this position for about 5 or 10 seconds. Take a big deep breath in. Look for a lot of tension at the lower spine here. As you slowly exhale, you're going to bring your chest all the way down to the ground, stretching the hamstrings, keeping the knees bent, the weight back, and the hips pulling straight back behind you like you're falling in a chair. From this position, try to lean back just a little further. Lengthen the legs as much as possible. We've got a big length from the heel to the hip. Keep on sitting back. Try to stay in that shaky hamstring stretch for about 10 seconds. Take a big deep breath in. As you exhale, I want you to slowly bring the hands to the shins. You're going to pull the shoulder blades together. Brace the lower spine as tight as you can as you slide the hands up to the top of the knees. Bracing the lower back as tight as possible. Push the arms straight back behind you. Again, we're looking for that wide open chest. From this position, slowly bring the arms all the way up with the chest lifting as high as you can, accentuating right into the lower spine again. Lift the arms even higher, just a little bit more. Take a big deep breath in. We're going to bring a good morning into it now. Everything else stays the same. You're simply going to bend the elbows and pull the arms straight back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, keeping the chest wide, and most importantly, keeping the lower back tight. The entire upper body is moving as one unit as you slowly pull the hips back, bringing the chest a bit further forward, contract the butt muscles and hamstrings, propelling the upper body up and forward to push the hips. So hips go forward, chest comes up, and we go 5 or 10 very slow rhythmic movements here, reinforcing that proper good morning pattern. Take your time on these, get very good at them. Come up just a little higher, Lakey, right there. All the movement happens at this hip joint. The hip pulls back, the chest comes forward, the hips press forward, the chest comes up. Let's push the arms straight back behind you again. We're now going to bring a squat in. From this position, if you need to stand up and take a break, go for it. But try to come right back to this. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, you're going to start bending the knees, pulling the hips back, reaching the arms forward into a wide-legged deep squat. So squat down as low as you can comfortably. You're going to hold this position for about 10 seconds. Just hang on to this. The weight's on the heels, your chest is high, your arms are forward, and all of the pressure is from the heels to the glutes. You're not looking for very much quad pressure. Go ahead and slowly press up as you bring your arms in, and then push right back down into that deep squat. Let's go 2 more of these. Slow rhythmic movement down, the weight's on the heels, the chest is high, slow rhythmic movement up. Let's go 1 more. All the way down, again, weight back, hips are pulling back, the knees are not coming forward, your chest stays high and the arms come back, counterbalancing properly as you stand up. Go ahead and stand all the way up, shake it off for just a couple seconds. Take a deep breath or 2, just shake your body out a little bit. We're going to start that exact same series again, this time with the legs a bit closer together. So we'll go legs about hip width apart right here. So let's start with that same founder. The chest is high, the arms are straight back behind you, there's a slight bend in the knees. Open up, really spread the fingers out. You're trying to get as much external rotation from the shoulder down to the arms as possible. And if you're doing that properly, it naturally spreads your chest open and pulls the shoulder blades together. From this position, slowly bring those arms straight up in front of you, reaching all the way up, pulling the hips back just a bit to counterbalance. The weight's on the heels, the knees aren't too far forward, the chest is high and the lower back is tight. Let's lift the arms about 5 more inches. Push your knees back just a little bit, Lakey. Chest up a little higher. Good. Hayden, lift your arms just a little more. Perfect. Then slowly stretch all the way to the ground with the knees bent, the weight back on the heels. We're looking for a very long hamstring stretch here. Once you have that long stretch going in the hamstrings, I want you to slowly pull the hips back even further. We're going to pull the hips straight up and backwards, away from the heels, lengthening the legs as far as possible, increasing that stretch in the hamstrings just a little bit, to the point of trembling. Once you have that tremble, try to stay in that for about 10 seconds. That's where all the changes occur in the length of the hamstring muscle. Take a big deep breath in that position. From here, you're going to press the hands into the shins. Shoulder blades pull together, chest lifts up, you're bracing the lower spine as tight as you can, looking for that lower back tension. Slide the hands up to the top of the knees. Keep the weight on your heels. Once your back feels like it's braced and strong, push the arms straight back behind you. Once the arms are behind you, the chest is opening, the chin is staying tucked and high. Slowly bring the arms straight up in front of you. From this position, all you're going to do is, again, bend those elbows, pull them straight back behind you. We're going to go right back into 5 slow good mornings. Elbows pull back, chest is high and wide, lower back is tight, and the only part of your body moving is right here at the hip joint. So don't come quite as low. You're losing that extension just a little bit at the bottom there. Stay in that safe zone where you're not losing that extension of the lower spine. You don't want to let your spine go into flexion at all. Totally changes the exercise. So the hips stay back, the chest stays high. Really reinforce that hinge over and over. You can't do this enough. From here, push the arms straight back behind you. The next time you press up, chest stays high. This time we're going to go straight from this founder position into a squat. So the chest is going to lift a bit higher. You're going to push the arms forward and begin slowly squatting down by pulling the hips back, keeping the weight on your heels. And let's go about 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up. We'll do this about 5 times. So nice fluid movement. 5 seconds down with the arms coming forward, 5 seconds up with the arms coming in. Keep the weight back on the heels, and remember, the movement happens at the hips, not just pushing the knees forward. So 5 nice, strong squats here. The line of tension you're feeling is from the heel straight into the butt muscle. The chest stays high, the back stays braced. Just the slower you do this, the better it works. You'll be able to go faster in all the other workouts, but for this one, really focus on that slow, controlled, powerful movement. After you've done 5 of these, you can just go ahead and stand up and just shake it out again. Just take a few deep breaths. All right, shake it out, take a deep breath, shake your legs out a little bit, move the hips around, get the hip flexors to work a little bit by just lifting the knees, and just relax, let your body go a little. The next thing I want to do is introduce both the lunge stretch and the woodpecker together. I want you to step forward with your left foot forward, right foot back, with both feet in the same direction. So just like everything we do here, the upper body is tight and long. The shoulders are lifted, the chest is open, the arms are straight back behind you. You're pressing that right heel back behind you and pushing your weight more or less into that left heel. Chest is high, you're going to slowly bring the arms straight up in front of you, touching the hands at the top, reaching up as high as you can. You're going to pull yourself all the way back into extension. So the first one's the lunge stretch, not the woodpecker. You're pulling all the way back into extension until you feel the right side starting to stretch. We're looking for that tension right along the right hip flexor. And then as you side bend towards the left, you're going to open up that hip flexor even more, really reaching that stretch all the way from the right rib cage into the right hip. You're going to hold this stretch for 2 big deep breaths. About 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, reaching up as high as you can, lengthening that right side of your body as much as possible. Slowly come back to the center and drop your arms. You're going to shift that weight all the way into the left heel, and I want you to press up on the toes of the back foot. With that weight on your left heel, your lower back is braced, your chest is high. You're going to push the arms back behind you and slowly hinge forward without that left knee coming forward at all. We're shifting all of your tension now right into the left butt muscle and hamstring, keeping that left lower back tight. From here, the arms are going to pull back behind you, and let's externally rotate the hands so the thumbs come out to the side, the shoulder blades squeeze together. From this position, slowly, without anything else changing, the chest stays low, the back stays braced. The only part moving is the shoulder joint right here. We're going to lift those arms straight up in front of you as high as they can go. As your arms come up, we're looking for a big increase in tension along that whole left posterior chain. Low back, glute, hamstring, and even a bit lower down into the lower leg. Let's go about 5 more seconds here. Really tight, strong position. Big breath in, and as you exhale, let the arms come down, stand all the way up, shake it out for just a couple seconds. And then once you're ready, only when you're ready, step forward with that right foot. You go same thing on the other side here. All right, so weight's pretty evenly dispersed. The legs are more or less in the same direction. Slight bend in that right knee. Chest high, shoulders back, open up as much as you can. Very slowly bring those arms straight up in the air as high as you can. You're going to touch the fingertips at the top, pull back into extension, straight back behind you until that left side starts to open up. So we're looking for that first hip flexor stretch right here, pretty low in front of the joint. Then as you side bend towards the right, you're looking for that stretch to increase and rise up. Go the other way. There you go. Left hip all the way to the left rib cage. That's where you want to stay in this stretch. Let's go 2 big deep breaths here. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Slow, controlled, rhythmic breathing. You're not trying to force anything here. From this position, on the next exhale, come back to the center. Let your arms drop behind you. Again, the chest is high. You're going to shift that weight onto the right heel. Slight bend in that right knee. The knee's not coming any further forward. It's still behind the ankle. The chest stays high. The back stays braced. The shoulders are back. You're going to slowly hinge forward at the hip as far as you can, building that stretch into the right hamstring and glute, keeping the lower back tight. From there, without the chest rising up any higher, keeping that extension and that brace in the spine, slowly move the shoulders and arms all the way up in front of you. Slow, continuous movement, feeling the tension increase as the arms lift above your shoulder height. Lift up as high as you can. Stay tight here for another 5 to 10 seconds. Keep your head high, keep your chest high. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, drop the arms back behind you. Go ahead and stand all the way up. Shake it off. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the same 2 exercises one more time through. And I'm going to add a couple small variables into there. Just a couple little changes that are going to help you get deeper, a little bit further into those exercises. So let's step forward with the left leg again. And we're going to start out with that same lunge stretch. This time we're just going to add a little pulse into it. So the chest is high, the arms are straight up in the air. Your right heel is pushing back behind you, and the weight is more or less through that left heel. Reach the arms up as high as you can, pull yourself straight back into extension. Try to touch the fingertips together. If you can't, that's fine. Just try to keep your arms more or less in the same plane. Pull straight back. I don't want you looking straight up in the air, hyperextending your neck. Try to keep your eye line straight ahead. From there, slowly side bend towards the left. Reach the arms up as high as you can. This time what I want you to do first is press up very slowly, just on the back ankle. The only part of your body moving is that back ankle joint. You're going to press the heel up and just as slowly press the heel down. Let's do 5 of these. 2 or 3 seconds up, 2 or 3 seconds down, very slow, fluid movement. If you're doing this properly, you're going to feel an increased stretch every time you press that heel back. Take a big breath in, and after that 5th one, come back to the center. Let your arms drop. Pull yourself right back into that woodpecker on the left leg. So the knee stays back, the hip stays back, the lower back is braced and strong, chest is high and wide. Arms push straight back behind you, chest is going to go a little further forward, and let's bring those arms straight out in front of you. We're not lifting them as high as you can this time. You're reaching straight out ahead of you at chest level. From this position, all I want you to do is turn the palms up without bending the elbows. You're going to keep the arms tight, keep the chest high, and lift as high as you can, as if you're lifting a bowl up in front of you. Keep your chest high. As the arms are lifting, you're going to push your chest a little further forward, hinging further at the hip joint, feeling a lot of pressure go into that upper back. Hold this for about 5 more seconds. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, turn the hands all the way over so the thumbs come down. Lift up another 2 inches. You're going to feel it go right into the traps and even higher on the upper back here. Take about 5 seconds here. As you exhale, slowly push the arms back behind you. Stand all the way up and shake it off. Move around a little bit, shake your shoulders out. Take a couple breaths. Good stuff. From here, let's step forward with the right foot. This is going to look oddly familiar. Chest up high, shoulders back behind you. So we're going to go into the lunge stretch first. Both arms are going to reach straight up in the air. Again, both feet are in the same direction. Your chest is high, your hips are more or less squared up. And I want you in a somewhat comfortable stance. You're all probably a little bit off balance here. That's okay. That changes as you get better at these exercises. The chest is high. The arms are pushing straight back behind you into extension. We're looking for some good tension on that left side. Nice long length from the rib cage down to the hip. Let's go ahead and side bend towards the right. As you side bend, you're reaching up and behind you as far as you can, creating as much length as possible from the left heel all the way to the left hand. Again, stretches right along this left side. Take a big breath here, and once you exhale, let's do 5 or so lifts on that back ankle. Again, the only part of your body moving here in a slow, fluid fashion is that ankle joint, nothing else. Rest of your body is rigid and strong. After that 5th one, press the heel all the way back, shift the weight a bit more into that right heel. Let your arms drop behind you. You're going to press your chest forward with a braced spine. Shoulders are wide open, arms are straight back. Pushing that weight into the left heel, let's slowly bring the arms straight forward. As the arms go forward, again, you're not lifting as high as you can. You're going straight forward in front of your chest. Reach forward, get a big stretch going into that right glute and hamstring. Once you have that, let's turn the palms up as high as you can. Lifting your chest, lift the arms just a little higher. You're not rounding your chest like this when you do this. You're keeping your shoulder blades back, your chest high, and the arms lifting. You're going to get some tension right across the upper chest here as well. After about 3 or 4 more seconds, you're going to slowly rotate those thumbs all the way down. As soon as you get that tension right across the upper shoulders and traps here, you're going to lift those arms just a little bit higher. We're talking 2 or 3 inches, that's it. Looking for a lot of tension right across the upper shoulder here. The low back is still connected, the glute is still connected. We're just adding little lines of tension onto this. Take about 3 more seconds, take a big breath in. As you exhale, drop the arms, lift your chest up. Practice this often. It's very good for you.